Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Card Blitz. I'm your host, Kelly Reed, and today I'm here with Mr. Tony for part two of Tony Talks Cards. Tony, how's it going?
It's going great, Kelly. Thanks for having me on. It's a good Monday.
It is a good Monday, and I appreciate you following up because we got so many more. I got so many more questions for you, and so I'd look forward to picking your brain and seeing what you'd like to share with us.
Look forward to it. Yeah. Thanks for having me on again.
All right, so did you watch any World Cup on Saturday or Sunday?
So we talked about that last time. I did watch parts of the last two games. I think the third and fourth place or whatever that game was in the championship game yesterday. So I was at the gym yesterday watching the championship game and I was like, man, it's still 0-0. They haven't scored yet. This is crazy. And when I was there, I heard someone scream at the gym who must have been a fan of Spain. And I thought, oh, that must be the signal. Someone scored something, and they did. And watched the rest of the game at home. But that was fun to see some of that. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, hey, we'll do this again in 4 years, and we'll talk soccer again. We'll become soccer fans. But you want to do some show and tell as we kind of get rolling?
That sounds good.
All right. Well, you're the guest, so please share first.
All right, so I've got a couple of cards here. We'll see what we get to. But the first one, I am seen some of my videos. I don't show them too often, but I'm an unopened pack collector. I like an open packs, whether they're graded, raw, from the 80s, 90s. And this is kind of a pack, but not quite the same pack you maybe would think it is. So this is a 1984-85 Walter Payton action shot. But it's a pack. It's within plastic wrapper here. And it was inserted into packs of pizza rolls. I think Geno's or Totino's, but it's pizza rolls in the back. And it highlights Walter Payton's game against the Saints when he broke Jim Brown's rushing record.
Man,
I,
that is awesome. Were you aware of that as a kid, or was this something you found later in life?
I got this probably a year ago. So I love pizza rolls, but never found this thing inserted into pizza rolls I bought in Arizona. Must have been 84, 85 based on when he broke the record. But yeah, it's in the plastic, not been touched. It's one card, it's not two. And it's nice and see-through so you know what it is. I found this on eBay probably a year ago and thought for $5, $10 at most. I love packs. It's a Peyton card. I'm a Bears guy. And so why not pick this up? But yeah, that's the first thing I want to show.
Man, that is awesome. And pizza rolls, something that gets every teenager through life, right?
Makes me hungry right now. Yeah, it talks about the game itself, has some advertising, and was part of a bigger set. It says it's number 12, so maybe there were other players, other non-Bears players, I'm not sure, but this works for me right here. Yeah.
That's greatness, man. For me, I'm going to get in it with the soccer thing and show off the only other soccer card I own, and that is of Mr. Pele,
Okay.
and it's this autographed leaf card of his.
Oh, very
Uh,
cool.
it's
Yeah.
very shiny, very bling bling, and it's
Now,
one of
was that
four.
something
But
out of a pack, or how'd you get that?
this is an eBay purchase back in the
Oh, okay.
day. And so, but it's still in the jiggly, whatever you call this thing, the jiggler. And so, unopened. But yeah, man. I mean, it's when I got back in the hobby, I was like, Pele is someone that I looked up to as a kid, and I thought, you
Yeah.
know what? I'd like to get his autograph on a card. So it is a sticker autograph. I'll be upfront with
Uh-huh.
you on that. But again, it's Pele, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I need more autographs, so better scoop mine up now while I can. So every 4 years, we can talk
Yeah.
soccer and look at Pele cards.
I'm sure soccer cards spike in interest on eBay and other places every 4 years leading up to the World Cup. Maybe the Olympics too would help that. So that's cool to see.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, how about your number two?
Number two, I've got this card. I hope it's going to be easy to see, but this is a 1957 Topps team card of the Brooklyn Dodgers. So I like team cards. You kind of hard to see the faces on them, which are kind of small and not the best resolution, but 57 team card has Jackie Robinson on it too. His last Topps card was 1956, but this is kind of showing the 56 team and 57 Topps. And on the back, it shows some statistics, historical records, and it shows at the bottom like who's in the front row, the middle row, the top row. And Jackie's last name is there, along with some guy named Koufax, Drysdale, other guys from the 50s era. And, Jackie Robinson cards just are really popular. There's not many of them. They're really pricey, but a team card that shows, 30 other people, give or take, plus trainers and coaches and managers This may have been 20, $30, something like that, but kind of a cool way to kind of put a pin in Jackie's tops, at least playing cards. I think this may be the last official one with his face on it. Maybe future team cards still use that picture. I'm not quite sure, but I want to show this card off here too.
Tony, man, that is sneaky cool. And I like the fact that you know about that being like a year later after he had retired. That is awesome.
Yeah, I know Topps football and Topps baseball may have kind of reused some of the same pictures for a couple years just to like not take new pictures of the team. So with football, I know there's some team cards that were used, players used like 3 years in a row. 60s Topps football, you can see the same people on there, but they've since retired. They're not on the same team anymore. But maybe baseball did the same thing. I'm not sure. But yeah, I love the design of this, the border of it. Brooklyn Dodgers, they moved to California, of course, very soon thereafter. So yeah, I thought I'd show that one.
Sweet, 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 man. I'm gonna have to add that to my want list because I learned something new from you today, Tony, and that's greatness.
Yeah. Team cards is a new thing I haven't gotten into much, but like finding these kind of little diamonds in the rough of whose face can you spot on the cards. That may be their single card may be pretty pricey, but a tiny photo of them, may be more affordable.
Definitely, I agree. For me, I'm going to go back with a first for me, a first PSA purchase at a card show back in 2000, I believe.
Hmm.
And this is back in the early days of PSA, but I've got this PSA 10 of Pudge Rodriguez.
Okay. Yep. Upper deck looks like.
Yes, sir. It's an upper deck, and I, for me, I remember just being so excited to get a PSA 10 because
Yep.
back then it just seemed like it was such a rarity to find a PSA 10 out in the wild. And I was like, I gotta buy this. And $12 later, I still have it, and
Not
all
too
these
bad.
years later. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, pretty happy to have that Pudge Rodriguez card.
Good to show there. That's neat. Yeah.
Yep. Well, hey, do you have a card number three?
I brought one just in case we had time for it. So yeah, this is I'll go back to my Bears roots here. So this is I think it's 1952. Others could tell me more. This is a Wheaties card, like a cutout from the back of a Wheaties cereal box of Johnny Lujack, quarterback for the Bears, early 50s, late 40s. I think he's in the Hall of Fame, was with Notre Dame in college, I believe, too. Maybe won the Heisman or got maybe first or second. I forget what it was, but again, kind of a cool Wheaties cutout card. You got these rounded kind of cutout corners. And the back's just kind of plain like the box inside of the box, right? And like it has kind of those Bears colors of blue and orange. I think all the Wheaties ones were that color scheme, but for a Bears guy like me, I like that similar color too of
A
that
great
one.
color match, right?
Yeah, back 70 years ago, color match, exactly. Yeah. So pick that one up off maybe Facebook, I want to say, but a few different versions of him. One's a throwing pose, one's a kind of just a portrait pose like this, and cool ways to do things outside of Bowman and Tops and other sets during that era too.
Do you know if Tony, when it comes to those different poses, were those on the same year of the cereal box, or was that different years of those Wheaties cereal boxes?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. I think it was all 1 year, but I'm not the expert in the Wheaties kind of panels there, but I think generally they were in the early 50s. I'm not sure why they had two different poses for some players, maybe only one
It
for
might be
others.
like a regional distribution thing. So
Could be. Or they were so popular they said, let's do two poses. Why not? You know?
not just one little Johnny
Yeah.
Lucha, but two. Let's get them now.
We want to sell more Wheaties cereal to kids and adults, so let's put different poses maybe on them. I don't know. That's a good question.
hmm Well, today is a birthday, and you might already know who I'm going to get into with today's birthday boy, but he is turning 88.
Okay.
8 years on this earth. He is a part of Pinar del Rio in Cuba. He played for one team his entire playing career from 62 to 76.
Okay.
He won three AL batting titles. He won one Gold Glove. He was the 1964 Rookie of the Year. Let's see, what else can I share with you? Being a part of this organization, he has been a part of three World Series. He's won two of them. He was elected into the Hall of Fame in 2022. Are you ready to give him a guess? You ready to take a gander?
I shouldn't be blanking on this. I really feel bad. I can think of a few people in the National League, but you said American League, right?
Yes, American
American
League.
League. And
And
one team,
he 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 uh he wrote you he signed something for you recently.
I knew that was going to come up. And now I'm trying to go through my memory banks of like, shoot, should have done that video. Now it's like I should know who this person
Kelly
is.
remembered this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm gonna just you got to give it to me. I'm not
All
thinking straight
right.
on a
His
Monday
full
afternoon,
name,
so
his full name has five names to it. It is Antonio Oliva Lopez Hernandez Javique, aka
very good.
Tony
Tony.
Oliva.
Yep. That one again, I should have even known that for more reasons. So that's a good one. I like that. Perfect day to do a video. I like it.
Yes, sir. 1970 Topps baseball card right here representing Mr. Oliva. But yeah, I found it interesting that he won. He was part of three World Series teams
Hmm.
with the Twins. One as a player, and then he won it twice as a coach in 87 and 91.
Got it. That's what was throwing me off too. I'm like, wait, three. Who could that be? That makes sense. Yeah, you say it.
Yep. So happy birthday, Tony. If you want to talk to Tony and Kelly, come on
Yeah.
and give us a shout, man. We'll talk cards and baseball and all sorts of greatness.
He did do a TTM for me. Very thankful and happy he got that back. Card came in one piece. Very good signer there.
Dude,
Yeah.
that is a beautiful card, and so definitely want to pick your brain and a future date on this whole TTM thing because from what I can tell, you're having a blast, and it seems like it's a really neat way to get interaction with some of these players and the reveals and all that. So definitely want to
Yeah.
learn more from you on that.
Yeah, a handful of us have gotten into it. I was inspired by a few other people and who inspired them from other people too before that, right? So it's a cool thing I never thought I'd like as much, but it's been fun to dabble in it and get videos back as you saw, cards back and see what they say and what they personalize or not and letters they may write back to you. So it's neat. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're like 10 days away, not from the NFL season, but from this national convention up in Chicago for card collectors. And it's my understanding that you've been there a couple of times. Is that right from the
Hmm.
last episode? And so for the CardBlitz viewers out there, we like to learn vicariously. So just kind of want to pick your brain on like the do's and don'ts, and you've done this trip. So
Yeah.
I guess for those that are taking their first trip to Chicago and to the National, what's something you could share with them?
Yeah, it's a few things. I mean, so I live in Arizona, the Nationals in Chicago, so I've never driven there. I've always flown there. So early on, one, not mistake, but one thing I didn't think about is, what am I looking to buy at the National? If I'm flying there, I probably can't take too much heavy, big, oversized stuff home. So like I bought a bat one year and the bat barely fit into my suitcase. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about bringing it back to Arizona. I can't fit this in the suitcase, my clothes and all that stuff. So, but it's, again, small cards are going to fit in your backpack, your satchel. That's not a big deal. So if you're flying or driving, think about what you're going to buy. And if you're just buying cards, you're not going to take up that much room with what you're bringing and walking around with, right? But so that's not been a big deal recently. But again, flying may limit you what you can buy and bring back.
I was going to
Um,
ask, based on that though, when you've been at the National, do they have like a lot of like just oversized like baseball bats or like full size football helmets or even larger items? Is that
yeah.
all
It
over the place?
whatever you could think of, I mean, it's there. You could buy, I mean, a 6 foot tall, whatever, and have it shipped back to you probably. But I'm not into that kind of big oversized, a statue of somebody. But they have helmets, bats, gloves, balls, posters, paintings, artwork that you'd probably have to have shipped back and insured for quite a bit to make it back to your house, right, in one piece. And then,
Mhm.
of course, lots of little tiny dusty old pieces of cardboard we love to collect as well. So if you drive there, you have more options. If you live in Chicago nearby, more options obviously as well. But whatever your dollars can find, you can find a way to use it for sure over
So
there. All
that's something you got to think
types of
ahead of
things.
is like, hey, what am I going to bring back?
Yeah. Thinking about maybe leaving some extra room in your suitcase, not packing it so full to go there, but then coming back with some extra room too on the way back. Yeah. So that's kind of a physical thing I would think about. I think with most car shows, I've found that just having cash on hand usually always goes better for the dealers in their perspective, right? I mean, some of them will take PayPal and electronic payments, things like that. But having cash and bills ready to go to pay usually makes the deals go faster. And again, sometimes I've been there where as much as the many people that are there and they invest in good Wi-Fi routers and ways to connect, sometimes there's patches of that show where the Wi-Fi is kind of spotty or it goes out or it's for an hour. You're like, why is it so slow? You're trying to pay somebody with PayPal, they can't get it because the Wi-Fi is slow. It gets done eventually, but it's kind of annoying when that happens because you are hoping they invest in the systems to have all that work correctly, but you never know, right? It's just something that may go down with all people using it. So cash is always easier to do and pay with and get a deal done, I found. So that's a couple initial things right there. And I would just say also with the cash side of things, I'm a big budgeter. So when I bring money, I want to spend that money or have some left over. I don't want to go to the ATM. There's plenty of ATMs around, as you can imagine, that charge fees to take extra money out during the show. So I try to avoid that at all cost. But think about what you want to buy, what's your budget you feel comfortable spending on pieces of cardboard at a show right in Chicago. I'll bring that. I may bring a little extra cash in case I find something else that kind of piques my interest I think I would want, but don't use the ATM. At least that's my kind of 2 cents of feedback there. I like lists. I'm an accountant. I'm a CPA. I like keeping lists and writing things down and organizing numbers and things I have. So I'll usually always take a list if I'm trying to build a set or finish a player run where I forget which card do I need in that set or that player's card so I don't buy it a second time or a duplicate of that card. But generally, I've just kind of done a lot of research about types of cards, sets, players, ages. I'll do a lot of research around the general price ranges of the cards I may want to get. What's high, what's low, what's average. Write that down on a piece of paper. Again, I keep it very analog because, again, if you have your lists on your phone, a Google Doc, email somewhere, if the Wi-Fi is down, I've been in situations where I couldn't pull up my Google Doc that had my list on it of which card I needed or what the prices I'd want to pay for
That
that
would be
card.
a nightmare if you're trying to build a set, you can't access the cards.
Yeah, so I have it on my Google Docs, but I also have a physical notebook with my things written down. So I have a backup plan in case something goes down. And if you're the dealer and you're trying to sell cards, you'd hate for the Wi-Fi to go down where you can't take payments or you can't look up maybe comps on the dealer's end of what he or she wants to sell the card for. So it kind of hurts, both sides. And generally, it's a big show where they've got that taken care of. But any business, you go to a random corner of a building or a storm rolls in, the wind blows too hard, it seems like, and the Wi-Fi kind of gets weird. My house, at least sometimes. So people are people, human nature, things happen. So just kind of have backup plans for things like that too, I would say initially, some feedback.
Let me ask you on the because I'm a set builder, love building
Mhm.
sets. That's kind of my jam. Um, I mean, are there a lot of dealers with just like tons of inventory there for, folks like myself, yourself that likes that enjoy building sets, or is it just kind of spotty, hit and miss? What's your experience been?
Yeah, the good thing is that everything is there. You just got to find the dealers that have what you're looking for. Um, I went to the National first time probably 12 years ago, a long time ago. I was building football sets back then. And some people just have a bunch of cases with PSA singles and no commons, no set builder, no dusty things to kind of sort through. But there are probably 5 or 10 people I found. And I saw them every year. I went back to the National with their same binders, sets, commons, stars, flip through dollar boxes. They'd have massive binders of 61 tops, 72 tops. Like just look through them, flip through, take the cards you need. They're a buck or whatever each, right? Get your checklists out. So not everybody has them, but their dealers definitely that's what they specialize in.
Or
Big
they know of
big
another dealer
boxes.
that does, right? And they'll say, "Hey, come
Yeah.
over here, check out that
You
dealer."
gotta look around, kind of find them, but once you do find them, you know who they are. You'll go back to them the next day, and they have every baseball, football, basketball set, 50s, 60s, 70s, a big binder. They're not all, stars. They're a bunch of common semi-stars in there, priced a buck, 50 cents each, whatever the case is. And you can just sit there for hours, checking off your checklist, pulling cards out, filling your sets up. They may have the stars in the case, protected separately from the commons in a binder. But yeah, I found probably 5 or 10. There's probably more than that too. 5 or 10 people I remember seeing every year since like 2013 who are always set up, and they have great stuff for set builders. Hmm.
Well, Tony, let me ask you this: since you like to work out and you're at the gym on Sundays, uh,
Yes, watching soccer. Yes.
watching soccer on a treadmill,
Yeah.
do you do you just do the old backpack thing, or are you like like a suitcase with wheels kind of guy when you're at the National? What do you recommend for like carrying all these purchases?
That's a great question too, because again, your back, your knees, your ankles can hurt if you make the wrong choice potentially in doing that. So if you're trying to buy, I think just, loose singles or maybe even 100 cards in a box, right? I carry a backpack that covers most of like the single cards and bulk things I'd be buying. If I'm buying a baseball bat or I want to buy 6 or 7 boxes of cards, the backpack will get pretty heavy on my shoulders. It's going to hurt by noon, by lunch. I'm there for 3 more days. I can't keep carrying this thing around. What do I do? And maybe think about, well, maybe I want to save my back. I want to put this in my car to protect it. I got to walk out of the show, go to my car. Hopefully, the car is in what I think is a safe place to put a bunch of cards I just bought, lock it up, walk back to the show. That may be an hour back and forth, like trying to find out where you parked, go back. It saves your back and your backpack and your knees, but you got to move around, right, to store your stuff. So if you're buying single cards or even a lot of single cards, I'd say a backpack, maybe a satchel you can kind of carry like, kind of a crossbody type thing. But some people that deal in heavy boxes, lots of cards, lots of heavier things have suitcases they pull around. And they can then pull the suitcase next to a dealer's table and then sit on the suitcase as well to look at cards. So it's like a seat and a rolling, which saves their back. But sometimes those aisles at the National, I mean, any big card show, the aisles can be so tight you're at Disneyland. There's nowhere to go. You got to like elbow edge people around. And having a suitcase on wheels is great. You kind of like fit that through the narrow hallway
You're
to get to the
navigating the
table.
chasm and
Yeah, you bump into people's knees and ankles. It's just, it's part of just being there. But a backpack also can take up room on your back. So it's kind of bulky sticking out the back of your back, right? So kind of like shimmy to aside to like move around tight aisles, with your stuff in your backpack. But I'll keep like snacks. Definitely bring, I beef jerky, granola bars, things like that in my backpack, bottles of water, just things to like keep eating because you may go and be lost for 4 hours looking at cards, which is wonderful. Then you're like, I'm kind of hungry. Where's the nearest food at? And you're like, oh, it's a mile back that way. I got to hike back to the food court. I'm still hungry. And you may want to just like eat a granola bar and keep looking at cards. So always bring a bunch of snack, electrolytes, flavored water I use, granola bars, things like that, jerky. Just kind of helps you get through the day during times you don't want to like go back and eat lunch and leave your table you're at potentially too.
well, I imagine though liquids like water or the Gatorades or flavored electrolyte drinks. I mean, 16 ounces is still a pound. So if you got
Yep.
four of these, five of these in your backpack,
Yeah.
that weighs more than the 100 cards.
It's like cards. It's like cards, yeah. So I'll usually put like 2 bottles of water in my backpack and I'll drink them during the day and then kind of fill them up. But yeah, each little ounce adds weight to your back. If you have back issues, shoulder problems, if you just like walk for 8 hours on this show floor, right? By the time you lay into bed, you're like, everything hurts. I'm kind of tired from walking around, right? Even with 2 bottles of water and some cards you may have bought too. So you got to think about all that. So you want to pack light, but not be where you're like so hungry where you're like maybe getting frustrated or making bad decisions buying a car. You're hungry, you want to go, but the food's over this way somewhere, right? So it's a gentle balancing act of like what you keep with you versus what you need. But they have food courts in Chicago. They have places with burgers and fries. They had stands selling, sodas and water kind of on the aisle caps as well. So you just had to walk and find those places. They weren't always where you wanted to be at. And maybe the line was pretty long too to get the burgers. So maybe 20 people deep or more at lunchtime. So it's,
Right. Like you said, though, be prepared and have some light
yeah.
snacks and drinks that kind of get you through. A lot of folks I heard they'll have like a massive breakfast, have some
Mhm.
snacks for the day, and then eat dinner, like a healthy dinner at night.
Yeah.
Have you tried that, like that theory?
I like that. I like eating lunch too because it gives you a chance for me to really sit down and like rest your knees for like a half hour eating a burger and fries and like think about your want list, think about what you got or who you want to go back and see that table from an hour ago. What table number was that? In Chicago, at least at the Rosemont Center, I found that the lunch kind of burger place they have there is kind of outside it's in the building that's kind of away from the card show. There's better Wi-Fi in the restaurant than there was like on the show floor for some of the days. So I'd go there, have lunch, sit down, rest my knees and back, and like could see my emails better and my lists and my Google Docs, and then kind of go back to the show and be like, okay, what did I need to get? What didn't I see? What car was priced here really well? And kind of make a plan, sitting down, having food, resting for a half hour or so. I kind of like that break in the middle of the show too some days.
Well, Tony, did are you like a solo adventurer, or do you go and like meet up friends at the National, or have you gone with like a couple buddies and y'all just kind of all fly in, meet up there? What's your, what do you like? What's been your most favorable experiences?
Yeah, so last year was my first year in Chicago once I had my YouTube channel. So before that, I didn't know anybody else besides me. I just went along solo up and down the aisles, bought my cards. I was very happy to do that, set collecting, buying Bears cards, whatever the case was. But a year ago was the first time I had gone knowing people who also had YouTube channels and people who knew me. So I didn't go with anybody per se and like walk the show with them. We'd meet up afterwards for some of the YouTube get-togethers, the meetups, maybe a dinner after Thursday or Friday, meet for breakfast in the morning at the hotel first thing, right? So we did some of that stuff, but on the show floor in Chicago, at least, it's such a massive Disneyland-like massive room. You can't tell who's like one aisle over because there's so many people next to you. So if you're walking with somebody, you can see them. It's hard to know who else is like around, and sometimes even your text messages don't go through. The phone calls don't work. People are kind of jamming the signals, right? So it's tough to kind of keep up with people, at least in my sense, but I kind of like solo adventuring myself because I tend to maybe go faster, go slower than some people, and just I don't want to like hold people up at tables, how fast or slow I walk in certain areas. So I kind of do that more preferably, but after the show, do more meetups with people, breakfast, dinner, things like that.
Alrighty, if you can, give us like one more do.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list. I took a list here. So I would say one thing I did, talking about the Wi-Fi. So before you buy a card, I like to know what did the cars sell for? Like, what are some comparable sales recently that have happened? But also look at cars that you're looking at in the Chicago National. Look at what they're selling for on eBay right now. So a card may be at $500 at the National. It's one guy's booth. But maybe on eBay, you find one for $400. It's just as pretty or maybe even in better condition. Like, maybe I should just not buy that one at the show, but buy the one on eBay if I really care about that card. So look at stuff that's also for sale actively on eBay, but also what's sold recently to kind of get a sense of like what the price could be. So you kind of know if it's a fair price at the show itself. But again, if the Wi-Fi is struggling, it's slow, that could be kind of hard to check at 2 p.m. on the show floor. So
So
yeah,
being analog and doing your research and writing down numbers helps.
I did that and it worked out pretty well last year. Yeah, help me out.
All right, how about a don't? Like one thing you recommend, like, hey, don't do this or don't do that, or in your travels and experiences at the National, what's something you'd say, hey, like this is a no-go, don't do this.
I, if you have the luxury to do this, I would say don't just go for one day. You know, if you only have one day, that's great. Go check it out, walk the show, be amazed at what's there, maybe buy something, but there's too much to see in one day. If you can stay for 2 days or 3 days, you'll be able to see more of the show. I also say kind of don't maybe buy a card the first table you go to if it's unless it's like a really rare, crazy card you only have seen once, it's right there in front of you. The price is right? You may want to buy it. But odds are most of the cards that you and I, maybe most people want or would look to buy, they're probably in other tables. There's more than one at that show. So walk around, be patient. But again, if it's a really rare thing and it's at table number one, maybe you should go and buy it. But odds are there's probably more than one copy in that room, if that makes sense.
Right, and also you need to kind of get a feel for like pricing, and perhaps that first table might, knowing that they're up front, might have their prices raised a little bit, saying, hey, we'll catch that initial traffic, we'll get those first buyers.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. And maybe way in the back corner that no one ever sees till like day two. It's so far in the back, they may have that same card. And maybe it's only $5 less. Maybe it's not a big difference in price. But if you can spend more than one day, that's kind of a quasi don't, I guess. Don't just go for one if you can afford it and you're there that long. Yeah.
Right, like don't sell yourself short with enough time. Make sure you have plenty of time.
Don't assume you'll see the whole show in one day. You'll be disappointed if you assume that. Maybe
Wisdom,
that's a better way to phrase
Tony,
it.
very, very wise, Tony. Very
Yeah.
well. Let's get to this pick one idea. All
Yeah.
right. So I'm going to give you three cards. I'd like you to choose the one card that you would want, and tell us why.
Okay.
Okay, so
Sounds
here's
good.
the candidates. So the Goodwill gods gifted you a card. They said, "Hey, Tony, you get to pick one. Are you going to
Okay.
go with the 1986 Michael Jordan Flair rookie card and a PSA 7 that's currently available on a certain platform for
Mhm.
16,000.
Okay.
Would you go with the 1954 Topps Ernie Banks PSA 7, currently listed for $15,400?
Okay.
Would you go with option 3, the 2020 Leaf Metal Draft Pete Crow Armstrong Super, I think it's called Super Foil, one of one, asking price 17,500. So you've got a couple of legends. You got
Yep.
one potential with upside on a one-on-one.
Yep.
Take a second, think about it. Let us know which card you would choose and why.
Yeah, those are good selections for a, Chicago fan like myself. So you know me well. Thank you for picking those out.
And the
Um,
pricing's close, but not exactly the same.
yeah, I'm glad you have reasonable the same price on kind of all three,
Yeah,
give or
kind
take
of ballparking it.
$1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'll just do the elimination game. I'll eliminate one first, and we'll go to the next two and see what those two kind of which one wins it out. So I'd probably eliminate the newer card first, the 2020 card you mentioned. I'm not
Pete
so much
Crow
into newer
Armstrong.
stuff these days, or I really don't watch a lot of baseball, honestly, these days. I'm more of a vintage. I kind of have this. I'm weird. I collect vintage baseball. I love baseball as a sport, football sport. I don't watch baseball currently, so I don't have a connection to the Cubs per se right now, which is maybe kind of strange. So I'd eliminate that one first off. Um, Putting aside I have the Ernie Banks rookie card, if I didn't have it, I'd probably say, well, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I'd probably say the Ernie Banks rookie card either way, because I think there's less of those than probably the Fleer Jordan potentially. Um, if you say, Tony, you have the Banks now, which I do, I wouldn't want to upgrade to a higher copy. Like this is probably a 7, you said, maybe give or
Sure,
take.
it's a 7.
Mine's a 1. I'd probably keep my 1 and go for the Jordan because I don't have one of those yet. And I was a Bulls fan from early on, watched all the games on WGN, have some 90, 91 kind of more easily affordable Jordan cards from my collecting days, but don't have the Fleer card yet. So I'd probably go with that.
Hey, that's awesome. Glad you got to pick one.
Yeah.
Let's see if the Goodwill gods hook you up with a Jordan PSA 7 86 Fleer rookie card because I
Yeah.
mean, that would be a great card to have. I was thinking if I were in your shoes, being a Cubs fan, Bulls fan, vintage kind of guy. I thought that would be a tough one for you to choose, and you eliminated PCA right off the bat. So,
Yeah.
most viewers of your channel know that that's probably your tendency is to say, "Hey, I'm not going to go for the new. I want the old." But the question is,
Yeah.
how old? Vintage, or 80s vintage?
Yeah, 86, 87 was when I started collecting football cards, and I just never saw basketball wax packs where I was buying cards out at the 7-Eleven. The card shop, I wasn't attracted to that at all. Didn't have a basketball team in Arizona that was in Tucson at least. The Bears got me. Didn't care about basketball until like 1991 when the Bulls started getting good. And even then, I was more into football and baseball, ripping packs, not basketball packs. So never saw those Fleers. Wish I had and bought a ton of those Jordans back in 86, 87, but did not have that in my collecting
We
history.
only
So,
knew, right? We only
yes,
knew.
unopened packs or the card itself would both would be fun to have. Yep, of
Definitely. Well, Tony, again, I'd like to say thank you for stopping by and
course.
having it up and teaching us about the national and sharing some knowledge and experience. And look forward to doing this again with you.
Yeah, for sure, Kelly. Thanks for having me on. Have a great rest of the week. Hope your Monday night's going well, and I'll talk to you soon.
All righty, take care. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you.